maybe the biggest wow, the biggest cringe-worthy shock was the trade that Bill O'Brien made to Arizona, sending DeAndre Hopkins. Wait a second. He went to Arizona and wait a second. Arizona got out from under David Johnson's contract, which was outrageously overpaid.
Crazy.
Yeah, because he's been obviously ineffective and hurt for 2 years.
Yep.
Wait, you took on his contract. You gave us DeAndre, who's still, I'll say top 5. I think he's top 3 receiver.
Yeah, he's top 3, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, well, Julio, Michael Thomas, DeAndre. I mean, we can debate that another time, but he's a top 3 receiver, absolutely.
Houston did get a second-round pick, but then they had to throw in a weird fourth-rounder back to Arizona, and all of a sudden, Kyler Murray has DeAndre, and he's still got Larry Fitz. I know he's nearing the end.
They signed Christian Kirk. Which tells you, Skip, they're probably going in a different direction in the draft, probably going to go offensive line. You better protect him.
They're a bunch of studs.
Yeah.
At number, 8?
Yeah.
There's going to be a stud offensive lineman.
Yes.
I would love to see them take CeeDee Lamb, but it's like an embarrassment of riches. Yeah. I don't know if there's only one football.
It don't do you any good if you throw him from your back, Skip. You better get somebody to protect your young quarterback.
Probably. But how shocked were you that Bill O'Brien made that deal?
I was shocked. Skip, I believe if you look at – and I think Bill O'Brien is a good coach. I don't think he's great. But him as a general manager, this is what he's done. He traded away Jadeveon Clowney and didn't get a first-round pick. He traded away D-Hop and didn't get a first-round pick.
Nope.
Let that sink in. Now, the Minnesota Vikings got a first-round pick for Stephon Diggs. Name the GM that says Stephon Diggs is better than DeAndre Hopkins. And they got a first-rounder from Buffalo.
They did.
So it just goes
By the way, point out, Bill O'Brien is the general manager.
Yes.
Thank you.
So he's a good head coach, but he's terrible at being a general manager. Skip, he basically gave DeAndre Hopkins away for David Johnson.
He did.
And a second-round pick.
Okay.
Now, you better get one of these receivers and hope they pan out. Now, he has 2 first-round. Because here's the thing, Skip. Okay, you trade for Laramie Tunsil. You give up a first-rounder. But you don't sign him to a long-term extension. Did you see what Jack Conklin got from Cleveland?
I did.
He plays right tackle.
He does.
There's a premium on left tackles. So now you didn't get him under contract.
Yep.
I don't get what he's doing. Now, it's reported that DeAndre Hopkins wanted more money because, Skip, he see what's coming along. The deal that he signed is obsolete.
Okay.
He's making $13 million a year.
I think they'll redo it. I do.
Yeah, they seem more willing to redo it than the Houston Texans. Why, Skip? Guess what they got? They got Deshaun Watson coming on the pipeline. That's going to be $40 million. Bill O'Brien, now we saw you take on Duke Johnson. We saw you take on Carlos Hyde. Now you got David Johnson. Really? Running backs? Running back trade? I can see if you got, Barry Sanders or Emmitt Smith, but you're taking on guys. And you let one of the preeminent receivers in all of football go for a second rounder, and Minnesota got a first rounder for Stephon Diggs. I don't understand what Bill O'Brien is doing, Skip.
I don't either. All I know for sure is I feel sorry for Deshaun Watson. I'm a huge fan. He's nothing but a playmaker.
Right.
Maybe he holds the ball too long and tries to make the play to win the game, but he just lost his security blanket.
Yeah.
The guy he went to when chips were down on the road in some big game.
Yep.
And I am so happy for Kyler Murray. I'm a bigger fan of his than you are. I told you he was going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year, and he finally, in the end, he won out.
Yep.
I think he's going to make the leap in his second year we saw Lamar and Patrick Mahomes make. And he's going to have the weapons to make that leap, starting with that guy, because that guy's going to change Kyler's life.
Yeah.
And that guy, reportedly, did not love Bill O'Brien. They were clashing more and more behind the scenes. I've been around Bill O'Brien. As long as you're away from football, I like him just fine. He's fun to be around. But I got to tell you, I'm not even as bullish on him as a coach as you are. I think he can get lost as a in-game strategist occasionally. He's always insisted on calling all of his plays. Now he says next year he's going to have somebody else call. We'll see about that. Yeah. I never believe it until I see it.
You remember Bill O'Brien's claim to fame was that he clashed with Tom Brady on the sideline. That was his claim to fame, and I think they lost the Super Bowl that he was actually the offensive coordinator, if I'm not mistaken, against the Giants.
They did. Yep.
They lost that Super Bowl. But prior to that, Skip, his claim to fame was that he butted heads. He was yelling face-to-face with Tom Brady.
Because Brady was getting on a receiver who lasted like 3 more games.
Tyquan Underwood.
That's correct.
But I'm not surprised. But at some point in time, look, I understand you're from the Belichick tree, but you're not Belichick. So you're going to have to be able to communicate and relate to these players.
Yep.
And I think he's like, well, Coach, this is the way Coach Belichick does it. But you're not Coach Belichick. You don't have those kinds of credentials. And so for him, and like I said, Skip, I don't really know D-Hop, but he doesn't. He strikes me as a guy that, he goes about his business. But he ain't going to take a whole lot of stuff.
No, he's going to take a lot of stuff. Totally agree. I still think Arizona's going to be so much better next year, especially if they take a rookie tackle. I could see them making the playoffs. Even in that division, you say that's impossible. I think they could. I think the Rams are still looking for their former selves. I think they could be a little better than the Rams going into next year.
Well, Seattle's going to be.
Gut feeling.
But, Skip, Seattle's going to, as long as they got Russell's going to be tough. Now, you believe the 49ers will take a step back because that Super Bowl loser hangover. They got a first-round pick now. They don't have a second and third. They traded DeForest Buckner.
They did.
Got the 13th pick in the draft.
Yep.
I think they have 2 first-round picks now. So they might be willing to move one to try to get some more picks to reshore this team up. They'll be good. They'll be back. They're not going anywhere. But I don't get this. I don't get this for the Houston Texans, considering full of the fourth, the other receiver, Skip, he's good, but he can't stay healthy.
No, they think he's their new one. We'll see about that.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.